this is the Engle Fireball 25, a fully tubed out 25-watt amplifier. And this particular amplifier right here, I actually do not bring on the channel very often, even though I bought it around 4 years ago, and it happened to be my second video that I ever made here on the channel at High Impact Audio. And I wanted to bring it back onto the channel to find out, really, I mean, is it everything that I remember playing in that guitar store when I first bought it? Let's get into it. Let's go ahead and take a look at a few of the features on the Engle Fireball 25. So like I said before, yes, it is a fully tubed 25-watt amplifier with 4 ECC 83 preamp tubes or 4 12AX7 preamp tubes, depending on where you get them. They're basically the same thing. And then there is a pair of 6L6 power tubes. On top of that, you have a separate gain control for both of the 2 channels on this amplifier, which is super nice. So you have a gain control for your clean channel and you have a gain control for your lead channel. And then you have a 3-band EQ, so you have bass, middle, and treble, a lead volume control, a built-in mid boost, a master control, and of course a presence control. On the back of the Engle Fireball 25, you're going to have a full send and return effects loop, and you will also have a built-in noise gate, which is probably one of my favorite features on this amplifier. On top of that, you will have a power soak feature, which is really cool as well. And this works really well for those of us that need to be playing at bedroom volumes. So you can have it go full power. You can have it set to mid power, low power, or even have the speaker completely off and have no power going to it. A really nice feature, like I said, for those of us that need to play at lower volumes. Before we totally dive into the Engle Fireball here, I just want to let you guys know my signal chain that I'm using for this video right here. So I am going from my multi-scale 7-string Diablo from Balaguer Guitars into my pedal board of all kinds of different boost pedals and overdrive pedals. But for today's video, we are only going to be using the TS-808. It is a classic boost pedal for sure. And then from there, we're going straight into the front of the Fireball 25, and then from there into my Captor X using an IR from Bogren Digital. And then from there, just directly into my computer. And that is the sound that you guys are gonna be getting today. So let's go ahead and I'm gonna turn off my boost pedal here, and let's turn everything to 12 o'clock, and let's just start out and kind of mess around with a little bit of tones here. Right off the bat, it actually sounds really, really good. Actually, that is not bad whatsoever. It is definitely holding up to everything that I remember playing in the guitar store when I first bought this amplifier. So that is everything at 12 o'clock, which is pretty crazy. I mean, pretty easy to get a decent metal tone out of it. Let's just go ahead and do a few little changes here. So I want to go ahead and just raise up the treble ever so slightly. I am going to lower the bass a little bit as well. It's a pretty typical move that I like to do on a lot of my amplifiers, but let's see what this alone just kind of sounds like. Interesting. Yeah, this amplifier, it has this pretty distinctive crackle on the top end. And if I was to use this particular amplifier for any kind of recording purposes, I probably would do just a little bit of post EQ. It's like in that upper mid-range kind of area that I'm hearing, especially in my in-ears here, it is definitely apparent that it is just front and forward. But overall, this amplifier is sounding really, really nice. Let's actually take a look and see how much gain does this amplifier actually have. I'm just gonna go ahead and bring this up to maybe around 3 o'clock, and let's just start there, and then we'll go all the way up after that. Yeah, that is a ton of gain. That is more gain than you would probably ever really need on an amplifier. But let's go ahead and turn it up all the way. And just because I am turning it up all the way, I am going to go ahead and activate my Zool Plus noise gate that I have down here on my pedal board, just to kind of keep away from any of the excess noise in there. And on the Engle Fireball 25, there actually is a built-in noise gate in it as well. And I do have that guy cranked up as well, but it's kind of a softer noise gate. So if you're looking for something super tight, then that's really not it. But whenever you're not playing, it's pretty good for just keeping down on any kind of hum or hiss in between songs when you're up on stage. But I always recommend to probably put in another noise gate in front of the amplifier as well. But let's check it out with the gain all the way up. Yeah, that is certainly way more gain than anyone is ever gonna need in their amplifier. I mean, even 3 o'clock was honestly, for me, way too much gain. And I typically play a lot of the super heavy, kind of chuggy chug type of stuff. But let's go ahead and throw on a boost pedal, and let's see what that guy sounds like. And before we activate our TS-808 boost pedal, really quick, I'm just gonna go ahead and throw everything at noon, because I know, especially the gain being all the way up with a boost pedal in front of the amplifier, that is absolutely a ridiculous amount of gain. And actually, I might even bring it back to 11 o'clock, because that's typically a good spot that I like to hang out with when I'm using a boost pedal in front of a already high gain amplifier. But yeah, let's bring everything back to 12 o'clock. And let's check out the TS-808 boost pedal on it. It's really funny to see exactly what happens when you put a boost pedal or an overdrive pedal in front of an already high gain amplifier. It just really tightens things up, really tightens up the low end, kind of cuts some of that mud out of there. And it does kind of add a little bit of more presence in there as well, because I'm definitely getting that upper mid-range area. It is a little bit more in my face now with the TS-808 on top of it. But it even adds just a little bit of extra gain because it's just pushing. And it's funny because if I turned off the amplifier and it was just the sound of the TS-808, it would actually sound fairly clean, but it just pushes the front of the amplifier just enough to really make a pretty significant difference in there. So I'm going to go ahead and lower the treble a little bit, just because that upper range is just a little bit abrasive to me. So I want to see what it does with that. And then on the Engle Fireball 25, there's also a mid boost on this amplifier. So I'm going to go ahead and just kind of activate that, and let's see what this sounds like. Yeah, that definitely rounded things out quite a bit more in the mid-range. Definitely, I can hear that boost in there, but I might just raise that treble a little bit more, because now that I activated the mid boost, now I am actually lacking a little bit of presence in there. So let's see if that fixed it. Yeah, that definitely did exactly what I was looking for. Yeah, the mid boost is actually pretty nice. And I remember being in the guitar store where I bought the Engle Fireball 25, and the mid boost was a little bit too much on this amp. But now I actually kind of like it. It's definitely not quite what I remember, but this amplifier right here is an extremely dry sounding amplifier. If I'm to do any kind of lead work or anything like that on there, I would say you're definitely going to want some sort of like reverb pedal or anything like that. So let's throw on a reverb and see what the lead parts sound like on it. Yeah, that is sounding extremely nice. So for the reverb that I'm using today, it's actually not a pedal reverb, but it is a plugin that I'm using in my DAW on my computer, which is the JST Skybox. It is, to this date, actually my favorite reverb to work with, because it has a ton of different ones. And the one that I am set on today is the blood styled reverb. And just to let you guys know, anything that I'm mentioning in this video, I will have a link for it down in the description below. So don't worry guys, I will have a link for everything from this video. But yeah, that is sounding really nice. Just a nice kind of roomy reverb to give a little bit of the more ambiance side of things for lead. But let's go ahead and kind of dial back the treble, just because I want it to be a little bit smoother and not so like in your face sounding. So let's see what the lead part sounds like with the treble dialed back. Yeah, that definitely fixed the issue that I was running into. It was just a little bit too much in your face on the lead part. I mean, with this amplifier being a pretty dry sounding amplifier, it's going to be a little bit more abrasive, and you got to be careful on just like how far forward it is going to sound for you. But just dialing back the treble just that one notch actually did the job for sure. no, those leads are sounding really, really nice. And it's just funny because just dialing back the treble that one notch really did the trick. Though this amplifier is still a fairly dry sounding amplifier and a very forward sounding amplifier. So I would say the Engle Fireball 25, it just kind of excels a little bit more in rhythms and the more chuggy chug type of things. And that is just my own opinion. Maybe yours differs from that, but that's just something that I'm kind of finding reapproaching this amplifier. So it is a little bit different with me liking the mid boost actually now. I'm very much enjoying that one, but for the most part, it's still a fire breather. It is still an ultimate metal machine. And I'm not gonna lie, this amplifier right here, the Engle Fireball 25, goes down as probably one of the easiest amplifiers to dial in your tone on, because as you guys noticed in this video, I really didn't have to do too much knob turning. It was kind of crazy. I'm pretty blown away that it really didn't make me work for it. Like, I just set everything to 12 o'clock and it was pretty much there. And then I added the TS-808 on top of it and it was pretty much there, just like maybe a few little changes, but really no, this amplifier is freaking awesome. Like I said before, it is an absolute metal machine. Let me know down in the comments below, guys, what is your thoughts on the Engle Fireball 25? I will have a link for everything that I mentioned in today's video down in the description, so definitely make sure to check that out. If you guys are enjoying my videos in any way, shape, or form, please consider hitting that subscribe button and that like button because it helps me out a ton here on the channel. And with that being said, this was the easiest tone building video that I've ever had to make. I can't believe it. My name is Chris with High Impact Audio, and I will see you guys next time.